Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are tuned to the Madam Prezident Morning Show. I just want to say happy Wednesday. Before I go any further, let me play my theme music. I hope you all had a good night. And before I go any further, I want to make sure I say my prayer. I want to start off by saying, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for waking us up this morning. You saw it fit for us to be a part of this day. You see it fit for us to be a part of this world. Give us the necessary guidance. Give us the peace and the protection. All right, in your name we pray. Amen. All right. I'm hoping that you all are feeling, I'm hoping that you all are feeling like you belong here. That's really what I hope for you today, that you feel like you belong. I see that the world is shifting, and the world is shifting very rapidly. Every time I look up, there are lots of changes that's happening, and it could interfere with how you feel about yourself, how your children feel about themselves. I talk about this in therapy. I tell my therapist, as a child, you just don't have any say so over where you live, where you go to school, a lot of times what you wear as a child. But some of you all still came out so good, you still came out opinionated, came out so many things, so many positive things. I'm very grateful for expression. When I was growing up, my grandparents were very good to me. My mother had me young. My mother had me at 15. So you may hear me reference my grandparents a lot because I spent a lot of time with them as my mother was growing, going to school, figuring things out. But my mother and I, we got really close over the years. Probably by the time I got into college, we became closer because guess what? Children got to grow too. We grow up with one mindset to only evolve, and see that our parents are just more than just our parents. That the world that we were walking in, they were walking in too. The unkindness that we thought we was experiencing alone in the world, our parents were experiencing it too. All that to say, I just really want to jump right in. It's quite a few things happening today. And I'm going to start with the update with the brother from Louisiana, Caleb Wilson. Let me give you an update on what's happening with his story right here, right now. You know my motto, don't take my word for it. You can see it for yourself. Right, you see it right here? It says the third and final suspect in the hazing death of Southern University student Caleb Wilson is now in custody. According to WAFB, Isaiah Smith, who is an Omega and a current student at Southern, turned himself in on Tuesday morning. Isaiah is the son of Todd Smith, who was leasing the warehouse where the alleged hazing incident took place. His bond was set at $25,000, and he's expected to be in front of a judge on June 2nd. As previously reported, U.S. Marshals picked up a second suspect, Kyle Thurman, Monday afternoon. Caleb McCrae, who was the first suspect, arrested, bonded out of jail last Friday, and is facing the most serious charge of felony hazing and manslaughter. I want to go to this comment right here that I saw. And this comment said, it talked about brotherhood. This comment, it had about 15,000 likes on it. And it just said, it just talked about brotherhood. It talked about how you searching for brotherhood and supposed to be doing this in honor of brotherhood, only to kill a man and have him waiting and drop him off at the hospital and lie to the police about what happened. All that to say that I want you all to see how many Black men the system gets behind shortcomings. And the reason I'm putting emphasis on this is because, they protect each other. White boys do things all the time, unjust, unfair, and they still want to see those white men have life afterwards. But like Black Ice said, you black men should not be in front of a judge with 400 plus years of a grudge. They will never show a brother love. That's just number one. That means I never want us to be in front of court systems. I want us to beat the system. I don't want us playing with it. But here's the hardcore reality. It's 3 to 4 of them that's headed to prison. And one of the gentlemen that was trying to be a part of the fraternity is in the grave. Do you see how destructive it is when you meet up in the name of nonsense? This is dumb stuff. This is dumb. But I want to teach young people how to be a free thinker. I want to teach young women and men how to think for yourself, how to realize, do I want to be a part of this? Does it really matter to me this much? Do I care about the character of these people? The character of these people is telling. Anytime you take a dead body, you slowing it down because you're trying to figure out what happened, and nobody has the common sense to try to preserve life, then you around some idiots. And this is what I've been in college, and I went to historically Black school, and I pledged all of that. So I know the lifestyle of being a college student. I know the appeal. I know the reality of it. I ain't faking. I'm not playing about it. But you do have to make a decision for yourself. Group think. If anybody can, put in the chat right now, group think. I want you to put group think in the chat, because what you will discover when you define and look up group think, it encourages and influences people to think in one group, to think alike. It discourages your own creativity, your own consciousness. So you have to be careful being in a group and people start taking away your ability to think. God may have called you to think higher than some of your peers. But if you ain't thinking higher, then you thinking just like them, it's catastrophic. It is deadly. Somebody has to be a thinker in every situation. That's why you ain't gonna find me nowhere high. I ain't high. Ain't nobody gonna get me in those situations talking about I can't remember. I can remember. I remember precisely. And I promote people being conscious about what's going on. Because when people want that subconscious, people don't want you to be conscious. People want you to, I'm just, I'm vibing out. I'm just chill. I'm going with the bros. And I'm going to move on really quickly. But really quickly, I'm going to move on because I want to say this really fast. And that is, there are people who care about you and want the best for you. You have to want it for yourself. And groupthink it's a power. It's a powerful thing. So that means that you can be in a groupthink situation. And if you weak and you're a middle child and you've been told what to do your whole life, you may need to look into situations where people are thinking critically more frequently. All right, I want to move on to the next story. And this particular story is the U.S. Department of Education has decided to get rid of 1,300 employees, half of its staff. I want to share this with you right here. And I have to be done by 10 a.m. because Dr. Boyce Watkins, he goes on at 10. So I'm trying to make sure that you all see what I'm saying. If you can see this, put education in the chat. If you can see this, put education in the chat. And while you're putting education in the chat, I want to remind you all of one thing. This is brought to you by flynubianmoney.com. This is where you go to grow. This is where you go to get your mind up and your money up. Okay, this is where you go to grow. If you want to be a part of a wonderful network of women doing great things, text Queens 87948. Now, really quickly, I want to share with you the Department of Education initiated mass layoffs Tuesday night, cutting its workforce by nearly 50%. Senior officials told The Hill at 6 p.m. Reduction in force. Notices were sent to 1,300 employees, leaving 2,183 staff members at the department. Affected employees will be placed on administrative leave beginning March 21st. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to finish this really quickly. Education Secretary Linda McMahon called the firing a step toward reducing bureaucratic bloat. During her confirmation, she acknowledged that while only Congress can abolish the agency, I just want you all to know that it's going to come down to your school system very soon. It's going to get down to your school system very soon because people don't want to teach anymore. The education system does not have the support that is required to successfully teach the children because parents are disengaged with their children's education. They're on social media. You got mothers headed to Miami for a new booty more than they will ever invest in their child's education. And I'm not trying to give the new booties a hard time. I'm just saying that our priorities are different. In fact, I want to share with you really quickly that Martin Luther King's father did not have an education. He was so serious about his education that he went into a middle school classroom and sat with little kids to become educated. That was Dr. King's father, serious about education. Our grandparents, even if they didn't have education, they had such a value about education. People now today feel like, and I'm one of those people that I do believe traditional education may not be the only avenue for you to be successful, and that's fine. You may not have a traditional education, but the hardcore truth is you have to be educated in something. And I'm going to be even more honest and share. I've met some of your kids. I've met the 18-year-olds and the 19-year-olds who do not value education, and they have not learned anything. They're not even strong thinkers. You put them in a situation when they need to think fast, they need to call their mama. That's the first thing they need to do. Don't get me upset. I'm trying to stop cursing and stop screaming. But this is a hardcore reality. Education is important. I think I heard the minister, Louis Farrakhan, he was speaking freely and he's aging. So Minister Farrakhan is telling himself, Minister Farrakhan is telling the people, he says, hey, I may be out of here one day. And all of us, we have to leave this world. It feels wonderful for us to think about living forever, but the spirit live forever. But us, the human flesh, we must leave. And I got so excited listening to Minister Farrakhan the other day. He says, people are asking me, well, what's going, Farrakhan? Well, where you going? And what happens? He said, don't be foolish. He said, don't be foolish. And I want you to understand something too, even about this education system. Don't be foolish. God is not going anywhere. That's what Farrakhan said. He said, God is not going anywhere. Let me tell you something, man. If you are a group of people that know of the Most High, please get your children educated in the higher power so they can stop thinking that they want to be like the next Jay-Z and they can be like the next thing that they are within. All right, I want to move on because like I told you, I need to be done soon. But this is the Madam Prezident Morning Show. We do this every single morning, Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you all have heard, Southwest is going up on their bags. Now, this is really pissing me off, okay? I can just be honest about this.
Details. Pack all the things.
Bags Fly Free has been at the heart of Southwest Airlines. But just in time for summer, many checked bags will soon fly with a fee. Only Southwest's most elite A-list preferred flyers and those booking its priciest business select fares will get 2 free checked bags. A-list members, Southwest credit card holders, and select customers will get one free checked bag. Everyone else has to pay up.
We are watching an airline self-destruct.
Airline analyst Henry Hartevelt.
This is how you destroy a brand. This is how you destroy customer preference. This is how you destroy loyalty. And this, I think, is going to send Southwest into a financial tailspin.
New this morning, CBS News has learned of a big shift from Southwest Airlines. Starting May 28th, the company will start charging for some checked bags. Oh no, that's the first time in nearly 54-year history this has happened. Chris Van Cleve has the details.
Pack all the things.
Bags fly.
All right. So one of the things that I want to share with you about Southwest is I went and got these stats myself. Southwest Airlines gross profit for 2024 was $6.1 billion, a 6.46% increase from 2023. Southwest Airlines annual gross profit for 2023 was $5.7 billion. Okay? I'm telling you this because these ideas are solely based on greed. They're charging for bags because there should be, more charges. This is a money grab. And I was looking at this, I was like, and it just really makes me think. It really makes me think. I will never forget watching this show, and this is when we're about to close out. I will never forget watching this show. This was talking about the rich and the wealthy. And they were asking one of the founders of FedEx. It says, you don't have enough money? Haven't you gotten enough? Why do you need more? And that man looked at the guy. He says, no, I don't have enough. He said, I want to go to effing Mars. This is the thought process. We have a greedy system. So all that to say, I hope you are taking care of yourself the way Southwest is taking care of it. One time I was watching a documentary, and the documentary was talking about Americans recovering, talking about all different classes, the wealthy class, the middle class, and the poor. And as they were talking about these different classes, it was the middle class that had went through a really hard hit with the real estate. And this financial guru person, was on there talking about the effects of that, like what that do to people, to lose their home, to lose their cars, and all of this. And he looked at the camera and he said, the American people are very forgiving. The American people are a very forgiving people. And as he went on to say that, one of the things that I noticed 100% is we are a move on people. You kill our sons, we cry, we mourn, we bury them, and we move on. You get our daughters, we cry, we mourn, we bury them, and we move on. I would love to see the day that we stop it all. Until then, I would like to say I am Madam President with a Z, and you tune to the Madam Prezident Morning Show. Thank you so much for being with me. Anytime you want to check out Madam President, feel free to go to madampresident.com. I am one Madam President on all social media platforms. I think Kelly just says, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to watch the Dr. Boy's Money in the Morning, he starts at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Thank you, Kelly, so much. So to see my godfather, Dr. Boyce Watkins, he does Money in the Morning at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talk soon. Oh, my new book, Matters of the Heart. I'm going to drop it in the link. So before you go, check it out.